Tell me something good. Tell me. This problem with the people is eating. Brody, go back to sleep. I ain't talking to you. What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? What's popping with the peoples? Salute, Wayne Henny, what's good? Andre, salute, what's popping with you, Brody? Man, I'm just chilling, man. Since I figured I'm out the loop and shit, I might pop in here every once in a while on these lives, see what's cracking with y'all till I get back to work. Good evening, George. How you feeling? Man, look, man, people get mad about everything. I had something, look, man, y'all don't know what y'all started the other day. When I went live, man, I had somebody go full throttle at me in my comments, told me I don't know shit about boxing. Because y'all asked me about this super bad Estrada shit, and I said I don't watch women boxing. He said, you shouldn't speak on women. You don't know shit about women's boxing. I said, well, technically, you know, I'm not going to answer any question unless I know the answer to, and anything that I don't know, I'm not going to act like I'm the smartest person in the room and speak on some shit that I don't have all of the information on. So, I mean, like, personally, I really ain't really tripping if people in their feelings about the girl, but, man, if that girl signed the waiver, she's 42 years old and her dream was to be a boxer, and she went in there and got slumped in 7 seconds, all I can say is after I watched the fight after I got off the phone with y'all. Man, the girl didn't even throw a punch. She just came out that joint like this, straight curled up. So, I mean, man, like it's harder to find a fight on short notice, man. It's harder for you to find a fight on short notice in less than a week for women than men, bro. So it's easy to get your ass whooped. Man, facts, Croy. Who watches women boxing outside of Ring IQ? For real. And, you know, salute to all the women that's in the game that watch the sport. But I mean, as far as men, who really watches women's boxing? Now, I keep up with the, you know, the slew of champions out here. But outside of that, man, I'm not tuning in no fucking women's boxing, man. I got to watch enough men's boxing all day. That shit garbage, man. That shit is, it's like, to me, it's only a few girls that really got technique. And outside of that shit, it's just, I mean, if you down just for a sloppy slugfest, that's cool. But that shit ain't for me, bro. It's not for me. So I'm sorry if I'm not all the way locked into women's boxing, or I just truly don't care that much. That's what you got my homie Ring IQ for. He be on it like that. He love women's boxing. And for those dudes that do, hey, man, salute to it. But me, I ain't, no disrespect to women, man, but I just don't see the science in it like I see the science in men, for real. Yo, Mr. Pepper, salute. I don't see homie popping his head back up. Until realistically he got to. As far as everything right now, he probably loving this COVID-19 stuff because he really don't have to deal with all of the stresses that come with getting his butt whipped. So I think he just gonna keep his head down. All the salute, Queen. Yeah, man, women boxing just ain't what it is for me. Heard that Spence versus Danny is happening in November. Hey, bro, Andre, whenever it happen, Danny just gonna get his ass whooped. I'm betting on, this what I'm betting on. I'm betting on the knockout from 6th to 9th round, or I'm betting on a unanimous decision. Outside of that, I'm not even, you know what I mean? I'm not betting any other way because, like, realistically, like, yo, look at what happened with Danny Garcia and Lamont Peterson. Like, people bring up, like, the Sean Porter situation. Man, Danny is trash, man. I've never been a fan of Danny. Danny made his bones off of fighting a bunch of over-the-hill legends, bro. And people gave him all that respect for that. But every time he got in the ring with a younger guy, you saw what happened to him. And then how he tried to finesse the game and make a WBC and lineal title fight at 140 with a guy that was ranked 71 and never fought outside of Pennsylvania, and try to make that a title fight until Teddy Atlas straight dogged it and they moved it into a 10-round exhibition. Like, man, Danny is trash, bro. Lamont Peterson beat the shit out Danny Garcia. And they wouldn't give him the win because it didn't make any sense to the plan. Like, this dude, he more marketable. This dude, Danny Garcia, always got his foot stuck in about 7 feet of mud, and this nigga only about 5'9", if that put anything in perspective. Like Danny Garcia has no footwork. His hands are slow. You know what I mean? He always picks a fighter. Well, now, definitely now, they always going to pick a fighter that's going to be game and come straight to you, hopefully. Well, that ain't going to happen with Errol Spence. He always pick a fighter that's game to come straight to him because he know he's slow. He don't want to battle against no footwork, and truly, styles make fights when it comes to a guy like Danny Garcia. He's only going to look good against a Mexican-style fighter. And when he fought a 36, 37-year-old El Terrible, he was taken into school up until they looked at the scorecards. When they was giving the scorecards around, like I think round 9 or round 8, they gave the scorecard out. Looked at and seen he was down on all the cards and he was beating the boy up. So he had to be reckless and go for a knockout and got clipped in the later round. So I'm just saying, man, I'm just not a Danny Garcia fan, bro. And I'm like, realistically, man, look at Errol Spence, look at his style of attack, look at his body type, look at his height, look at his size, and look at that fight. And if I was to train Errol Spence, I'm going to tell you, that's an easy night because you want to know what we're going to do? We're going to stay mid-range. We're going to pull our punches a little bit for the first 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? We're going to hit him with some hot shit in the liver and the gut. We're going to stay lateral on him and just stay mid-range. There was nothing that Danny Garcia can do with Errol Spence mid-range. With Sean Porter, Sean didn't have no choice but to come towards Errol. He had to come towards Errol. Sean shorter. He literally got T-Rex arms. You know what I'm saying? And Sean Porter's a gifted fighter, but hey, we only built naturally the way we built. Danny, man, Errol ain't got to do that with Danny. And Errol really want to punch something in the face, man, he going to knock that motherfucking boy out, man. He going to knock that boy out. You see what Errol did to Lamar Peterson, and we saw what Lamar Peterson did to Danny Garcia. I'm not with a triangle theory, but I am with a styles theory. And the styles really don't differentiate. He ain't going to be able to style on Errol, man. He hoping that he cherry-picked the car accident, and really the car accident and the windshield cherry-picked him. Mauricio Herrera beat the shit out that boy, too. He ain't the only one. That man, he's went through it with several opponents, man. He's just not impressive to me. You know? And the whole time when Danny was fighting Lamar Peterson, what did he do? He got so frustrated, he just stood in the middle of the ring and threw his hands up. I'm like, bro, pugilism, boxing, the sweet science is the art of hit and not getting hit. So if you're not defensively responsible, or if you weren't born with the footwork or anything like that, hey, bro, that's your problem. Learn to have faster feet and cut off the run. I don't know what you and Angel been doing. He been gassing your chiclet face ass up, like for real. Facts. Herrera put the hands on him. Man, there are several fights. Loma versus Lopez, who I got. Now, okay, this is how I'm going to put it for you. If I was a betting man, I would have to bet on Lomachenko because I got to bet on the skill, I got to bet on the experience, I got to bet on the footwork now. You know what I'm saying? Now, for me, who I'm picking the younger guy. You know what I'm saying? Who I'm picking, who I want to win, who I'm picking Teofimo Lopez. If I was a betting man, I would have to go with Lomachenko, but realistically, I think Teofimo can possibly bully him, put some heavy shit on him, and get him out there, and I think Teofimo is going to do a lot better in the boxing than people think for real. You know, I just think that, you know, people just ain't giving Teofimo no realistic shot, and I'm just saying this, man. I'm like, because, you know, people just think with these young cats, yo, you got to put this off, and put this off. And I heard Javi Salute, and I heard the way Sean Porter was talking about the fight and talking about Lomachenko experience, and they was talking about what he did to Jose Ramirez and the amateurs and all this stuff. First of all, Teofimo Lopez is way more athletically gifted than Jose Ramirez and Sean Porter. Naturally. Now, as a fighter, his learning curve isn't going to be as steep as theirs. He's more naturally gifted, got better eyes, got better footwork, got better hand speed. In every department, he's better than those guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, his learning curve ain't going to be as steep as theirs. I think he realistically got a chance to go in and win this fight for real. But he better be focused, and he better be ready for 12 rounds because he ain't just going to go in there and just walk all over top of this kid. This kid, I'm telling you, Lomachenko is willing to die in that ring. I hope you willing to die too. And Brian Harkin, salute. Yeah, man, I'm not a DSG fan at all. Like I said, if I'm a betting man, I gotta pick Loma. But outside of, you know what I'm saying, outside of betting, yeah, I'm picking. I want Teofimo to win the fight. Like I think there are things with Lomachenko that can be exposed that people do miss, you know. And I just think that, you know, out the other fighters he fought, they didn't impress me. They're all good fighters. They just don't impress me on no level. But as far as Teofimo, I see Teofimo's I see where Tiafimo can ascend to. I see the skills that Tiafimo has, and I see what he could do in the ring. Now, if it came down to, say, if Devin Haney was in this position and not Tiafimo, I definitely bet and pick Devin Haney. You know what I mean? Tiafimo is just different. Like, Devin Haney displays all of the styles and the footwork of a slick boxer who is highly experienced. You know, Tiafimo really don't have to show that, but now Loma, he going against a guy who is young. He going against a guy that's stronger than him, who naturally who's going to be bigger than he is throughout his prime in his career. He's going up against a guy who punch harder than him. He's going up against a guy who is equally as fast as he is, and he's going up against a guy who has footwork too. He just ain't had to really use it to the amateurs. Now I'm just saying, Lomachenko, he's mastered in his craft, you know. But I'm just saying, like, it comes to a point to where skill ain't necessarily going to be able to always pull you through. Like, this dude is tapped out 135 soaking wet. There is no way Lomachenko could ever be seen at 140. So what I'm saying is, sometimes, you know, skill just ain't enough, bro. Like, he can go in there and, like, I'm telling you, I think the kid going in there to brawl. I think he's going in there to cut off the ring, push him back, rough him up, you know, make the fight dirty, make it ugly, and try to knock this nigga block off. He ain't going in here to try to box him and stay mid-range and, like, yo, like, motherfuckers is putting too much stock into Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell is not nice, man. Luke Campbell is a stick figure, you know, European-style fighter who is just decent. Luke Campbell ain't a world-level fighter to me. Luke Campbell is a gatekeeper for 135. For me, I feel like he's a gatekeeper for 135. But when it comes to a guy like Tio, you can't measure T.O. with these other dudes that he fought, because if I put T.O. in the ring with them other dudes that he fought, T.O. will whoop their ass too. And he might do it in more of a spectacular fashion if we want to be honest about it. So I'm just saying, it ain't a clear victory for me. The Lomachenko Duck Haney, I know Tiafimo deserves it, but still. You could definitely look at it like Lomachenko Duck Haney, you know, and I've said a couple of things about it, but my thing is this too. Bob wasn't willing to go into a purse bid. Bob didn't want to go in no fucking purse bid with no Eddie Hearn because he ain't want Lomachenko fighting on the zone. So I think that has something to do with it as well. I don't think Lomachenko was scared to fight the kid, but I don't think if Bob was going to fight that kid, I don't think Bob was going, you know what I mean, Bob wanted them fighting on the zone. And you already know that Blavatnik and Eddie and them boys would have put up more money than Bob Arum would have wanted to throw out there out the gate, because we know Eddie Hearn ain't afraid to overpay on a purse bid. He ain't afraid to overpay on a fight or anything like that, because he trying to really take over the game. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, because he's going about it the right way and he want all the guys to fight. Die Hard Casual, salute. Brown Gone 1, salute. Icy, salute. Brian Hawkins, salute. Carlos Mendoza, salute. George, salute. Wayne Henney, salute. Davey, salute. Chain TC, salute. You know, so I just think, you know, it's just like, man. Like, I'm a huge Wilfred Benitez fan, man. And I'm like, you know, I'm a huge Wilfred Benitez fan. I'm a huge Terry Norris fan. I'm a huge Sugar Ray Leonard fan. There's a bunch of, I'm a huge Pretty Boy. I'm a huge Money fan. There are a bunch of guys that I'm huge fans of that when they were young, they were equally just as lethal. So I'm just saying, we can't put it past Tiafimo that he can't be lethal in that level as well. And Tiafimo's body is pretty filled out. Like, the boy's shoulders is broad. I'm just saying, like, I don't think this is my thing. If Lomachenko doesn't have anything to keep Tiafimo honest, what can he really do? That's the defining factor for me. Shiz biz salute. That's my thing. If Lomachenko's punch don't affect a young Tiafimo, a young, strong, hungry, fast, aggressive Tiafimo Lopez, and the way that it affects other individuals that he fought, considering that, you know, they were punched on a lot more, considering they had a lot more ring, you know, they've been in the ring a lot more, been in a lot more wars, etc., etc. This kid is fresh, man. He ain't even had to go 3 rounds with Comey. So what I'm saying is, if Lomachenko can't hurt him, and yeah, speed equals power to a certain extent, but I go back to, man, it comes to a point to where, you know, skill just ain't enough. If in this situation, we gonna find out in the first couple of rounds if he can put a shot on him because he's highly accurate. If Teofimo can't put a shot on fucking Teofimo to make him honest, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a long night of murderous intent. He walking him down, he rubbing forearms, he hitting that boy. He don't care if he nail him in the back of the head. He gonna gut check him, he gonna low blow him, he gonna shove him, he gonna push his motherfucking shoulders, have his head and neck over the ropes, all that shit. All that shit, because my whole thing is this, man. And Benitez was doing things at 17, retained belts 3 times at 17, bruh. So what I'm saying is this, man. We got to stop looking at it like the young boy don't got a chance, because we done seen how Wilfred Benitez swab it out. We done seen how a young pretty boy swab it out. We done seen how a young Canelo can swap it out. Like, that don't, you know what I mean? So we can't take nothing away from what Teofimo Lopez can go in here and can do. I'm just saying, I think it's going to be a surprisingly good, magnetic, magical kind of night where whatever these dudes do, they not going to disappoint, man. I think Lomachenko should move back to 130 pounds. I think Lomachenko at 130 pounds makes more sense, and I think the talent at 130 pounds breeds better fights for Lomachenko right now. When you got JoJo there right now was a champion, or Tevin Farmer gonna get it back. Either way, stylistically, that makes a beautiful boxing match right there. Or you got Shakur Stevenson right there. You got Shakur, and you got who else am I leaving out? Burchell. You got Burchell, you got JoJo, JoJo, and Shakur. So shit. I mean, shit. You got plenty of talent right there, and there's plenty of ways that you can go through all of them fights. You can collect all of the belts at 132. So why not him go ahead and fight T.O. Depending on what happened with T.O., go down to one. You could release all of the belts, go down to 130 and fight them too. Because I know Burchell said he want to fight him next. I would love to see a Miguel Burchell versus Lomachenko fight than see anything else after what they can offer him at 135, unless he fights Haney or something like that. Yeah, I'm a big Burchell fan too. T.O. how Loma thinking. Man, look, man. Die hard, I feel you, bro. Like I said, I'm picking T.O. to win the fight. Like, my heart say T.O. If it was my betting mind, it would have to say Loma. Just based off of, and I'm not taking nothing away from skill. Lomachenko versus Burchell. Ooh. Man, I ain't even gonna lie. I like Burchell. I ain't even gonna lie. For real, I think Burchell could beat him up. Yeah, man, 1-2 kid, that's a fact, man, because technically Loma is in the twilight of his prime right now. He is at his highest level. He has, put in an extensive amount of work, honing his craft, and he's a dog, man. He's a dog. Like, come on, man, like, this nigga fought Gary Russell in under 5 fights, man. These dudes don't want to touch Gary Russell. So the dude is the truth. Don't get it twisted. Like, Gary Russell was definitely his toughest opponent. And he took him in under 5 fights, man. So it just tells you what this guy possesses. And it tells you that 2 times in the Olympics, that amateur repetition and all of that shit got his footwork. I mean, his footwork is sound. Like, impeccable. Burchell versus Herring. I think Burchell knocks Herring out. I think Herring could give him problems for a little while with the slick shit, but I don't think Herring got enough, counter defensive ability where he can consistently, stay off of the line. Man, Jamel ain't no sweet pea. He ain't no pretty boy, man. He's gonna get touched. What, the bun? Yeah. Yeah, man. Haney, look, if Lomachenko don't fight Devin Haney, I'll call it a duck then. Because when the dude chased you down, you end up getting a franchise belt, regardless of whether it's purse bid or you consider a little bit of duck, you can consider it a little bit of both. regardless of whatever, you came out during the quarantine, like within like the end of the first month of the quarantine, and I think it was either March or April, and you said you want to smoke with Devin Haney. You wanted to line him up like right after it was over with. So if you don't fight Lomachenko, if you don't fight Devin Haney after you fight Teofimo, then and you stay at 135, yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with that. Because, you know, there are things up there that's going to be question marks where it's just like, hey, man, you can't really, I'm not really going to herald his reign like that. Because, you know, the other dudes that he fought, like Guillermo Rigondeaux, like came up 2 weight classes, you know what I'm saying? Like Nicholas Walters, okay, he had a decent career, but there's a lot of dudes that had decent careers that wasn't impressive to me. You know what I'm saying? Like Mariaga, Gate, like I said, Gary Russell to me was his best opponent. Jason Sosa, a champion, but we saw what Burchelt did to him. I'm just saying, man, there's just a lot of dudes that he fought that just don't overly impress me. I'd say Pedraza, Jorge Linares, I'd say Gary Russell, those are extremely good wins. Yeah, man, I'm disappointed that Burchelt ain't, want to go ahead and unify with Jamel too. But at the same time, too, I know that Oscar Valdez is a bigger fight, and I know he's looking for a big payday, you know. And when you're talking about fighting Lomachenko after you fight Oscar Valdez, really, like, what is Jamel Herring at that point? Like, and no disrespect to Jamel Herring and nothing like that, but I'm like, bruh, like, I don't think you can beat him. And yeah, you know, you can be a slick kind of fighter and all of that, but bruh, you're going to have to take rounds off, where Burchelt doesn't take rounds off. I've never seen Burchelt take 1 round off his entire career. I've never seen him pull 1 punch his entire career. And if he pulled a punch, goddamn it, I missed it. Because all of them bitches thud. I mean, all of them bitches thud. So, I'm kind of like, yo, like, man, like, I see, man, like, look, like, yo, like, I see boxing for what it is, bro. Like, yo, I know what I'm looking at, man. And I know who sauces who in that ring, man. Like, and for real, it ain't a lot of dudes that's gonna beat that boy at 130, man. It's not a lot of dudes that's gonna beat Miguel Burchelt. You know, you gotta give Loma credit. You gotta give him credit. I mean, regardless of whatever, the opponents Loma has fought from the time he's entered up until now are night and day from what any of these other motherfuckers is doing. It's constantly respectable talent, bro. But when it comes to putting this dude so far up in the pound for pound list, or saying he's one of a greater boxer than Floyd and all of this crackhead shit people be saying, like, nah, he ain't there yet. He ain't found the beast yet. You know what I mean? Now, if he beats the shit out Teofimo Lopez, y'all gonna hear me talk about this nigga like it ain't no tomorrow, because I feel like this is his toughest test to date. Other than Gary Russell, I feel like this is toughest test to date. But we know Teo a little bit bigger than Gary. They both bring a little something different. I like Loma. But I ain't with this whole microwave culture where everybody get all hypnotized on this catch and shoot shit. Like, you know, but you know what I'm saying, Brian. You know, I know he ain't better than Floyd, but you know what's said out here. You know where the public want to put people in. You know what certain people say, and it's a lot of people that say stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, to all of these other microwave hypnotizing boxing fans, I'm not that. I'm not overly impressed. There are things that impress me, but am I wowed? Absolutely not. I've seen shit that will wow you. I've seen boxers that will wow you. That ain't some wow me shit. Yo, when you come up, when you born in, like me, I was born in 85, bro. I done seen top motherfuckers, man. And I done went back and watched tape on all of the hottest motherfuckers in the hottest divisions, fighting the toughest competition, fighting the toughest competition. So when I know your other dudes ain't really up on that, they not cut from that necessary cloth and all of that, yo, I ain't really gonna give you all of this. I'm not gonna gas you. I drive a Tesla. We ain't giving no gas. Is Roy Jones one of what, bro? Ziggy Zane, salute. You think Farmer gonna win that rematch with JoJo? Farmer had to fight the perfect fight, man. I don't know if he up for it though. I don't know if he up for it. I know something ain't look right with Farmer that night, but I'm just saying, Farmer was not. This is the thing with Tevin Farmer that gets him in trouble. Tevin Farmer is dead. Tevin Farmer is there to always look like he's being outworked by the next opponent. So he's always in risk of losing a fight because he's not busy. You know, John O'Carroll, his aggression was a little bit more reckless. You know what I'm saying? Like Jojo Diaz is with Joel. Like he ain't gonna be reckless, and his body attack is gonna be normal. So while you doing all that weaving and shoulder rolling up top, what's JoJo doing? He hitting you in your fucking body 24/7. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I don't know if Tevin Farmer's gonna win that fight. Do I like Tevin Farmer? Yes. Do we got a punch? The nigga hands are softer than fucking Sealy Posturepedic pillows. Is he counter responsible in the phone booth? Absolutely. Can he slip some shots? Absolutely. But JoJo stays on him, and JoJo is always going to be the busier fighter round by round. And is Kevin going to be wanting to open himself up? Because the way JoJo is going to throw punches at Tevin's going to have to open himself up way more than he would have to than to like a John O'Carroll, because John O's attack is a little bit more reckless. JoJo attack ain't going to be reckless. If Tevin try to open himself up to try to convince the judges that he's winning rounds, he's risking getting clipped and getting knocked out. I just think that experience, you know, JoJo had with going through with Gary Russell, I think he really capitalized that, and you know, he's making his mark now. Tevin that's what I'm saying, like, that's why I thought I like JoJo in that fight, man, because I think Tevin live his life rolling off that shoulder too much in that phone booth too much, and I just don't think that's going to be the thing that gets him through. He's going to have to do a lot more. He's going to have to do a lot more than that. And honestly, he might have to open up with offense. He might have to open up with combinations, and he's going to have to use his feet. He can't be stuck in the mud and can't be not returning fire, because when he started to listen to what his coach was telling him, he started having success. I believe it was like it was in between like the 5th and 8th round when he started opening up and listening to the coach a little bit. But during that entire fight, he didn't want to open up. He didn't want to attack. And I know that's due to the fact of his style of defense, and how he likes to punch, and he likes to roll off. He likes to roll off the attack and return fire, you know, to make his punches count, because he don't hit hard for shit. The boxer you talking about that will wow us. Roy Jones has always been a boxer that wowed me. He's always wowed me with his natural ability. But I mean, Roy Jones an all-time great? Yes. When Roy Jones, when you know he's at the top in his prime and all of that, the James Toney fights, shit like that, was he spectacular? Yeah, he wowed the fuck out of me. But realistically, I thought Roy Jones had a fade and win tank. I thought Roy Jones had a suspect chin, and I thought Roy Jones was, you know what I'm saying, weak when it came to the body shots. But was Roy Jones a great fucking fighter, all-time great fighter? Absolutely. I felt like if Roy Jones would have existed in the weight class that he should have been in more and just focused there instead of going up doing all this great shit, or after the John Ruiz fight, if he would have just retired after the John Ruiz fight, motherfuckers couldn't have really said shit to Roy. Yeah, Russell beats Diaz anytime they meet, but that's just because Russell is a different caliber of fighter. Like, I'm a huge fan of Roy Jones, you know what I mean? But Roy Jones is an athletic specimen, where his athletics really carry him through a lot of shit in his career. Like, it's just like unmatchable speed and shit. But when you run up against a nigga like Antonio Tarver, man, that Tyson fight, man, I just think, you know, it's just good. It's just good for all of the older now that I read this article today, and when I really think about it, and I understand what Mike Tyson is doing, legends of sports always want to compete. So it's just bigger than just boxing with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones right now. It's more or less what they trying to do as far as like legends getting back and competing. They're starting like some legends. It's like he about to do some whole like legend league and shit like that, where legends where other legendary fighters gonna fight other legendary fighters in exhibitions, other like basketball players, like shit like that. So what he doing is because the spirit of competition never leaves a guy. So I'm sure and it's birthed a lot. You've seen a lot of greats come out of nowhere and they're interested in doing this thing. So I mean, hey, you know, if we look at Bernard the Alien Hopkins, we would know that Bernard won a belt at 46 years old. We could look at Archie Moore, we could look at George Foreman. So to say that a guy can't compete like at Mike's age or something like that, we would know that history would tell us that there are some rare gems that can do that. And I think that Mike Tyson and certain other individuals that are all rare gems that can do that as well. So I think, yeah, it's cool to see those guys in the ring, man. It's good to just see them go out there and throw hands. They ain't had to throw no punches or nothing like that in a while, so maybe they're going to, Roy probably come out, show us some of that great athleticism, what he has left, and we get to see Mike in a little bit of peekaboo offense. You know what I mean? That's always a good night. Yeah, man, like, for an advantage, Roy just had that wow factor, man. He was the charismatic king, man, with the incredible athleticism, bro. Like if Roy Jones was 6'6", he would have been Michael Jordan. If Roy Jones was 6'9", he would have been LeBron James. If Roy Jones was, 7 foot tall, he would have been Shaquille O'Neal. You feel what I'm saying? If he knew how to ice skate, he would have been goddamn Wayne Gretzky. He would have been Gordie fucking Howe. If he would have knew how to fucking swing a bat, that nigga would have been fucking Hank Aaron. You know what I mean? That's what type of athleticism that dude had. So, shout out to Roy. You know what I mean? Body headbanger, salute. Can't be touched, motherfucker. Yeah, man, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Roy, man. Roy my dude, man, but it's just like, I never I ain't even gonna stunt. Whole time Roy's career, I was always impressed, but I never was that dude where everybody else was with it. I always thought that nigga was there to be knocked out. Always. I said, man, I don't know what y'all saying this nigga, man. Yeah, he athletic, but what else? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that shit gonna fade. Man, Tarver put that boy. You could tell Roy ain't really want that fight either, right? Because Roy was so hype after the W. He in the mic. He like, woo. He's like, yo, we got Antonio Tarver sitting here. He was like, what? I'll fight Antonio Tarver. What's up, Tarver? He was like, yeah, but Antonio Tarver I might fight him next. Wrote that check. He wrote that check. Cause you name a boy athletic fighter than Roy. I don't know. Because, yeah, Sweet Pea would probably be up there with athleticism, but I'm just like, where Roy had a couple extra things, I'm like, Sweet Pea wowed you with the slicks, but Roy wowed you with the hook. Roy didn't even have to have his hands up to. Roy never really fought with his hand. Roy never fought in guard. Roy always fought with his hands wide and spread out and kind of leaning forward, kind of giving you his chin a little bit because he was that fast. Roy never had to fight in guard. That's what make Roy Jones so incredible. Imagine if he would have been like the most defensively sound fighter. Imagine if he would have cared about defense. It's just different. It's just different for Roy, man. Big truck driving. Roy just different. So Roy didn't necessarily have to deal with them things that Roy didn't have to go through them lessons that everybody else had to go through, man. So yeah, Roy, yeah, Sugar Ray. I'd put Sugar Ray in that class with Roy because of the footwork, because of the combinations they put together, the way they moved around the ring, and Sugar Ray never really had to have his hands to his chin either. Sugar Ray is a special fighter. So, you got those guys that were just so overly athletic, man, and they just brought so much to the game. Sugar Ray and Roy definitely were those two guys where I would say, you put them at 6'6", you put them at 6'9", they would have been MJ or LeBron. Put them on ice, they would have been fucking Wayne Gretzky. It's just that good. Mike Tyson weed infused 3D print cup. Just need water to get you high. Hey, I want that shit.
Mike is the man.
So you were just able to come out.
Yeah, man, but I'm about to get off here, man. It's about to get loud in here. Salute to everybody. I'm gonna tap back into y'all. I'm gonna tap back into y'all when I do. Y'all know how we do it. As we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Salute to the chat, or y'all be easy. Respect though. It's the motherfucking boss.